Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic, here with my dogs Lucy and Bert. Together, we're interviewing cool, creative women entrepreneurs in the pet industry. Do you dream of working alongside your dog? Then sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode to find the inspiration and resources that will help you grow your own dog-inspired business. Have you ever admired dog birthday party photos on Instagram and wondered where the beautiful cakes come from? There's a good chance they're from today's guest. She's a design-savvy pastry chef who's turned her skills toward the pet industry and creates goodies that not only look Pinterest perfect, but are healthy for your dog too. We talk about how she finds inspiration, the key to working with brand ambassadors, and a few tools that enable her to run this whole business on her own. But before we get into the interview, I want to remind you that it's almost the end of February. All month long, I've been asking you to share how much you love this podcast by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. In a few days, I'll pick one reviewer to win a $50 gift card to the Wear, Wag, Repeat shop. So if you haven't already, open the podcast app on your phone. It's the little purple icon. Search for Wear, Wag, Repeat. Click on the photo of me and Lucy, then scroll down towards the bottom where you'll find reviews. I promise it only takes a few minutes, and I will love you for it so much. Plus, you could win a fabulous prize. Now, on to the episode. Jen Mello was inspired to start Spotted Dog Bakery when she realized that she had a skill set that fit perfectly with the stylish dog mom market. She previously worked in interior design and from there took a leap into bakery management after attending pastry school in her home state of Florida. Her first pup, Havarti, came into her life somewhere in between, and starting a dog bakery became the perfect intersection of everything she loved about the last 15 years of her life. She found there wasn't anyone producing dog cakes that had a fresh, modern feel to them, so she decided she would do just that. Hey, Jen!
Hi, how are you, Tori?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent today.
I was worried I pronounced your dog's name wrong, but it's Havarti or Havarti, right?
I like the little extra accent on the end. Yeah, it's Havarti.
I know.
Just
I
like
really
the cheese.
pronunciated every syllable.
Havarti. Yes,
Kind of
Havarti.
like the Havarti party.
She is the Havarti of the party. Yes, ma'am. She's our little logo pup, and she's the reason that all of this has happened. So that's appropriate.
That's so awesome. And I love that, I sort of think of myself as a stylish dog mom, but there's not that many other people out there who also brand themselves in the same way. So, when I saw your stuff and then when I saw your bio, I was like, oh my God, this is just meant to be. And I love that you've sort of put yourself in that little niche as well.
Yeah, that's definitely where we wanted to be. Like people who obviously want things to taste good, but that are they want a nice picture for the memory of the whole situation. So that's where I think the stylish part comes in, is that photo memory that you keep for the rest of time.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, I just kind of dove in. So, let's rewind a second. And for people who are listening to this who maybe aren't familiar with Spotted Dog Bakery, can you tell us a little bit about your brand? What makes your cakes stand out? What do they look like? And just kind of describe what people need to know about you.
Sure. So the goal is to create something, like I said, that creates like a picture perfect memory for you and your pup and their special day. So our cakes are design focused to be a little bit less the typical like paw prints and bones and cutesy. Like we wanted to take dog bakeries out of the 90s and push a little bit more in that modern design. So when I was doing a lot of human baking, loved doing watercolor art on cakes. And when I left the human bakery world, I was like, that's what I want to do. It didn't occur to me that I would be doing it for dogs, but that makes it all the better. Dogs are such happy customers.
Yeah, I mean, so you probably have never had a dog that didn't like your cake.
I actually have not had that happen yet. Yeah, that's true. I've had other issues, shipping things, whatever, but like never has someone come and been like, my dog won't eat your cake. So that's been lovely.
Yeah, I love your cakes. Like they just look like if anyone spent any time on Pinterest, guilty over here.
Yeah.
Then there's like your cakes look like the cakes that someone is pinning to like their own birthday party celebration board. You've got like a unicorn one and like a mountains one, and you've got all these amazing creations. Well, how do you come up with these ideas and find your inspiration?
So, inspiration a lot of the times comes from my lovely customers. If people ask me for something enough, I'll tend to be like, oh, well, maybe that's the thing that I should figure out how to deliver. Heather of formerly the Ween and the Queen, but now it's the Dapple,
Oh,
lovely
okay. I'm familiar
dog
with the
blogger.
Dapple. I didn't know that it was called the Ween and the Queen before, but
That
that's
was
very
her
cute.
Instagram tag
Okay.
before, so that was how like I first got to know them. Anyway, she was the first one who wanted to do a unicorn cake, and I was like, yeah, that's adorable. And it just became a thing that so many people asked about that I was like, I guess I should put this on my website. And that's kind of what's happened with those portrait cakes too. You mentioned liking it was a doodle portrait and little mini cupcakes, and that has been something that was just requested so much that I'm like, okay, we're doing those now. It's been fun.
Yeah, you
So
like paint
inspiration comes from
on
customers.
you're like kind of painting on dog hair with icing somehow and
Yeah, yes.
and creating like
So
little mini dogs.
yeah, I get a picture from the owner and I get, to sit there with my little bag of icing and I pipe it all on and then it dries and then I paint on their features.
Oh, that's
So,
neat. You paint it afterward.
hmm
Oh,
yeah,
that must
it's
be
funny
like the
because it
key to
always looks
success.
very like, I'm not sure I did a good job while it's all white and then I paint it and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, cute.
What ingredients do you use for your icings and for your cakes?
The icing is a mix and it's an all natural product. It's dehydrated yogurt based.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not got any sugar in it. That was a really important factor to me. Like, I know that I don't want to feed my dogs sugar. Otherwise, I would just use royal icing and that
Yeah.
would be much easier. But the colorings that I use are all plant based or I guess it's not minerals, but like the blue is seaweed based. It's all
Okay.
really cool stuff, I think. I mean, I always get a kick out of it. Like the orange is like a beta carotene. Like I just think that's really cool.
That's very cool. It's almost like little vitamin food colorings.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it gets mixed with water and then goes on the cake. Okay, buddy, I know. Um, and as far as the cakes go, I try and keep it as simple as possible. So we start with stuff that the dog likes. Peanut butter, sweet
Mm-hmm.
potatoes, bananas. Those are all favorites in our house. And then add as little to it as possible and still end up with a cake at the end of the day. So again, low on sweeteners and extra. There's no fat in the cakes except for the peanut butter if there's
Right.
peanut butter. So just simple.
Yeah, very cool. So, so you have 3 dogs now.
Mm-hmm.
When you first started, before you started the bakery, did you used to make treats for your dogs at home? Did you ever bake stuff?
I baked cakes for them on their birthdays. Yes, I did bake cakes, but I never was into homemade treats and stuff. That kind of came later, like after doing human cookie sets and stuff. I just had so many ideas still stuck in my head. And the munchies sets were one of those. I just thought it would be adorable to have like sets of quote unquote food that you shouldn't theoretically feed your dog pizza, but it's adorable. So give them a treat that's healthy for them that just looks like pizza.
Yeah. So those are your
So
like
that's how-
beautiful little dog treats, but that are decorated like little
Correct.
cookies and
Yeah.
so pretty. Okay, so I just like am thinking about how you went to culinary school and or pastry school, and there's probably not that many other people in your program who've gone on and become dog pastry chefs. But
Probably not. No.
that should be like a major that you can have at pastry school. Wouldn't that be so cool?
It would be so much fun. I mean, it like the amount of things I had to trial and error through, like there was such a learning curve. So yes,
Wait,
that
tell
would
me
be
more.
lovely.
What were some of your trial and errors you had to figure out?
Well, a lot of like the structure and science of baking is based on sugar and how it behaves. So taking that entire element out of it creates some problems, especially with like the icings. Things don't dry hard. You need to be able to package them. There's just so much you need to figure out that there's no book you can look in and go, like,
Right.
there's the answer.
Oh my gosh. Well, the next chapter in your life, Jen, I
Yeah,
think that you should start a pet pastry school.
I'll get right on that.
I
I've thought
think
about like cookbooks and stuff before, but never school. Hadn't thought about that one.
I think it would be so cool. I mean, yeah, you could do a cookbook, but wouldn't that be so cool? People could get like a little degree in it. Oh my God. That would be amazing.
Little official puppy bakers with
The
the
graduation
hats.
ceremony would be pet friendly, of course. Like
Oh my
that would be
gosh.
amazing.
That would be the best part, to
Let's
have
do
the
it.
dogs there. I'm in. Let's go.
Okay, so talking about your business.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting to me is how you ship these all over the place. So are you shipping all over the United States or all over the world?
I wish we could ship all over the world. However, I'm limited to the United States just based on the fact that most of like the cakes that I ship are perishable. So they only have a week span from like coming out of the oven to they need to be eaten. So shipping to the US is the only thing I can do based on transit time.
Right, right.
So
how did you figure out like the shipping? Because I would just think that the packaging would be difficult because your cakes are so pretty and you don't want them to get smushed up. So how did you figure this out?
I get that question a lot, actually. Customers will chat me up and be like, is it going to get here okay? Yes, that is the goal. It was, again, trial and error. Like, I shipped some cakes in the beginning that got smooshed, and I really quickly had to figure out how do I get around this? And I always love the idea of putting the cake into a bakery box, because if you go pick up a cake from, a little fancy bakery, it comes in a box, and I wanted pet parents to have that same experience. Like, put the same time and effort into a dog cake that you would find in a human cake. So some of it was the visual of wanting the box, and the other part was I need this box that can physically hold up to a little bit of banging around if I needed to.
Right.
Yeah.
So are there like things that keep the cake centered in the box? Like,
yes, we put little double-sided sticky dots underneath the cake that hold it to the bottom of the box. So theoretically, it's not, jumping up and hitting the top of it. So that keeps the top of the cake preserved. And then we tuck a little crinkle paper around it because the icing dries hard. So as long as it's not like mega jostled around in there, which, the post service does its best sometimes, but for the most part, we do A-okay.
Do you specially mark the boxes to keep them upright?
No, I feel like there would just be no way. I mean, I have to just trust that they're going to bang them up like every other package and still hope it gets there okay.
Uh-oh, we have a little dog tangling situation going on.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're listening to this episode, you know that we're dog people, so sometimes dogs get tangled up in our microphones.
They do. I'm hoping they don't decide to play right at my feet right now.
Probably will.
Yeah. If you hear growling, that's why.
So you've worked with Heather from the Dapple, and you've also worked with some other dog bloggers and other businesses that I've noticed on your feed and on your website. How do you approach other people to do collaborations like that?
A lot of the times they'll approach me, which is lovely and fun. And, if we're going back and forth with ideas and kind of vibe off each other, that's always a good sign that like the end project is going to work out really well. In the beginning, like Heather from the Dapple specifically, I reached out to her just because I really liked her style of photography, and she had a dachshund and I have dachshunds, and I was like, I would love to work with you in any way, shape, or form. And that was one of the people that I reached out to for my ambassador program. So I have met a lot of people through that have been lovely to work with. But honestly, like a lot of people just reach out to me via Instagram messages or emails. And like I said, if we're both feeling it, we do something and it works out pretty cool most of the time.
I love that. Just keep it simple. Yeah. Don't have to overthink it.
Yeah, I don't have like a program for it. It's not something that I'm like, I don't know. It's definitely fun, but
yeah. And like I've discussed with so many people on this show and just in life in general that, women in the pet industry, I think that we all sort of love to support each other. And when we see awesome things, we just want to be part of it and support it. And there's very little jealousy and stuff. So you don't have to be intimidated to reach out to other brands.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Actually, that's been a really cool thing is getting to know some of the other brands that are out there. Like I was having a conversation with someone from the Bear and the Rat the other day, the
Yeah.
puppy ice creams. So I don't know. I just want to meet all the people and work with all the people. Sounds like fun.
Oh my gosh, you should partner with an ice cream.
Right?
That's such a good
Well, ice cream
idea.
sandwiches, I can't even deal with it.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about anything yet. I'm just like, I don't know what's going to go on there, but it sounds like fun.
I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the interview, but I would love to see what you're doing while you catch up with the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. Take a screenshot of this episode in your podcast player or snap a selfie with your earbuds in. Bonus points if it's on a dog walk, and share it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at TMystic. I'll keep an eye out for mentions, and I would love to give you a shout out from my own account. Okay, now back to the episode. Okay, so you just kind of like mentioned very briefly that you have an ambassador program. How does that work?
I do. Well, when I started, I had no followers, obviously, and
Right.
I also had no budget for advertising. And I think I either listened to a podcast on creative marketing or something, and I was like, okay, so my focus is going to be to find some dog accounts that have like around 10,000 followers, like something approachable. Just reach out to them, ask them if I can send them a cake, see what happens from there. Actually, I didn't even think about them being ambassadors at the time. It was just like free product, one post kind of a thing.
Right.
Lots of people said, yes, great. And then one of those people reached out to me and just said like, hey, if you'd ever be interested in having an ambassador, we would love to be one. And I was like, oh, there's a thought. So I'm telling you, I get all my best ideas from other people. So I looked into it and just kind of started asking around like, hey, you're really cool. If I were to do an ambassador program, would you be interested? And they were like, oh, we'd be so flattered. I'm like, great. I'm flattered too. So it's just been, I think, great. I have a great little group of people that are creative. They're driven to take these beautiful pictures of their dogs and post them. So it makes me happy that they're willing to work with me and that they're so supportive.
How exactly does it work? Do you send them free stuff on a regular basis, or do they
Yes.
like an affiliate link or something
So
like that?
the whole program is based on me sending them something once a month. If it's, something that I've got to promote, they know that. Like it's a holiday thing. They're going to promote Valentine's Day coming up. And then I said that whatever their birthday or gotcha day month is, that they would get a free cake for that month. And then they
Cool.
post about it and tell people that they think we're cool.
Oh, that's cool. And do you track with is there a promo code or something that
They each have a
followers
promo
use?
code, and I'm really terrible about like making sure that each relationship is monetized and whatever. Like if I am enjoying it and they are sincerely, I don't know, as long as their heart is in it and they're not fake promoting, like that's my biggest concern. I don't want people who are just like, buy these treats, they're cool. Like I'm super happy to have found people that are genuinely invested in me and the brand, and that's what's important to me.
Right. And plus, I mean, keeping track of how much they've monetized the relationship or whatever, that's one thing, but you're also getting amazing content through the photos that they're creating, and that's worth a whole lot in and of itself.
Yeah, huge for me because I'm not a photographer by any means. Like I do have to take some pictures and I try and muddle through it, but like that's not my main shtick.
Right.
So it's a really huge benefit for me to have usable, fantastic pictures of the products that go out.
Yeah. Well, your feed is full of fantastic photos, so
Thanks to everyone else out there.
mission accomplished.
Thank you.
So tell me about your 3 dogs that you have now and how they influence what you do.
Well, we started with Havarti. She's 7 years old at this point.
Oh, she's the same age as my dogs.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's like they're just about to get older, and I'm like, no, my puppy. So when she was about 9 months old, we decided to get Butters, which is also called Hammy. He was supposed to be like her little play pal, and he's a couch potato, so that never worked out quite well. And then I randomly stumbled into a shelter, literally randomly stumbled into a shelter 3 years ago tomorrow and found Noodle. and was like,
Oh.
I guess we're getting a third dog. So that's how we ended up with the 3 of them. And because they're dachshunds, weight has always been like one of those things that people said, yeah, I'm so terrified of them having back issues.
Uh-huh.
So everyone always said, make sure they don't get overweight. It's super important. I'm like, okay, so that's a main goal for me, is to create things that I can give them that aren't going to push our health goals way out of the window. Like, yes, it's a treat. Yes, it's cake. But truly, like, we want it to be as healthy as possible because that's important to me and my dogs.
Right. Yeah. It's fun to give dogs cake, but, I see so many people talking about puppuccinos and getting ice cream for their dog at the regular ice cream shop, like soft serve or something. And it just kind of makes me cringe because it's just so much sugar.
It is a lot of sugar. And like perspective wise, once in a while treats are obviously fine, but I don't know. I want to celebrate with my dog all the time. So if I can give them things that are healthy for them more often, like that's good for me. Because they're also dachshunds, so they think they're starving 100% of the time.
Oh, they must be part Labrador as well.
Yeah. Or just dogs. Yeah. So they always want treats. And if I can, like I said, if I can make something that I can give them treats, as many as they want or a reasonable amount, then that's all the better for me.
And make every day a celebration so you don't have to like save up and wait for some special day when you're going to have some indulgent thing, because everything you make is healthy so you can celebrate every day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not like a whole cake every day, but
right.
But some of the other treats.
Maybe
a bite of cake.
Small slice.
Yeah. Exactly.
So one thing that I thought was really, really smart on your website was how you've also added like little cake toppers and bandanas and some other little things. And so can you just talk about like how you decided, because like, you're a baker. So why are you selling bandanas and different things like that?
So again, back to that like picture perfect party thing. I just wanted to be a source for everything that someone would need to create the perfect birthday picture for their dog. That being said, I don't know if those are things that we're going to keep doing forever, but it started out with me finding adorable fabric. Because again, interior design, like forever ago, I love looking at fabrics and I love all of that. So it was fun to me to find fabrics that in that same vein as the cakes don't look like they came from the 90s. Like a lot of, oh my gosh, there's so many good companies out there that make custom bandanas now. But like the ones that dog bakeries sell are usually pretty ugly. So I just wanted to provide something cute that matched the cakes and went with the whole modern vibe.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the cake toppers, I don't know. I guess same thing. Just something smaller, scaled for a dog cake, not a human cake.
Oh, I hadn't even really considered that, the scale of it.
Scale is a big thing because the cakes are 4 inches and 5 inches. So that's pretty small when you think about a human cake being 9 inches as a standard size. That's always funny when people are like, oh, it's tiny. I'm like, well, yes, it's for a dog. So it is smaller.
But when you see a picture of a dog next to it, it's like as big as their head. So
yeah, I mean, I think they're really well proportioned for the dogs.
Right.
They're perfectly fine with the amount.
Do you have a custom cake that you've made that you're the most proud of?
It always changes, right? So right now, I'm really excited about, I did a beer barrel cake. Like the outside of the cake looks like a beer barrel with little slats and whatnot. And then I made little beer cookies that stick into the top of the cake, and little cookie ice cubes that go around the little beer cookies. And the dog's name was Cooper. So I made the label say Coops instead of Coors Light.
Oh
so
my gosh. Cute. That's really cute.
That was a good one. And I did one for another ambassador, Thori. The theme was Thor's hammer.
I saw the Thor's hammer cake.
Oh
that was
God,
like, this should be, okay, you also should have like a Food Network show.
Oh my gosh. Don't put me in front of a TV. That would be awful.
But like it like your cakes look just as amazing as like these amazing human cakes that people are making.
That is the goal. So thank you. That's the best compliment you could give me.
You're totally, I mean, you're doing it. It's amazing. So,
thank you.
So it's mostly you that runs your business, right?
It's all me.
All you. So what kind of tools and resources do you use to make this all possible? One of the things I noticed on your website was you have a little chat box that pops up when you log on. And so I'm like curious how that works and any other kind of tools that make it easier for you to run all of this.
I'll plug for Shopify. So my website is run through Shopify. I talked to a web designer back when I started this whole thing, and we kind of explored a couple different platforms, and based on what I needed, that was the one that seemed to fit best. So a lot of the tools and resources I use are available obviously through Shopify, but they have apps that you can add to your website for different things. And that chat was one of them. And again, that was born from just like, I don't want to have a phone number, but I want to have people be able to contact me somehow. Because I think being available for questions, helps people feel more confident that you're going to deliver what they expect you to.
Right.
So
well, and especially you do a lot of custom orders. So probably a lot of
custom
questions.
orders. Yeah. Custom orders, we do usually email, or believe it or not, Instagram messaging has been like a huge source of custom stuff for me. And that's easy because I can go back and look at, conversations that were had and whatnot.
Right.
So
for that little chat box thing that pops up on your website, you're not sitting there on your website all day long, just like, I wonder if someone's going to ask a question. So
that is true.
how, does it send you a text, or is there an app on your phone that goes with
There's
it? Or
an
do you,
app on my phone?
do you have a bot that runs it or something?
No, I wish I had a bot. There's lots of times where I'm decorating a cake or washing up pans or whatever, and the chat thing goes off and I'm like, okay, got to stop what I'm doing. So it is, it's a one-woman show at the moment. So
So it does. It gives you like a little alert on your phone, and then you just go in and answer the person or chit chat with them.
Yep, exactly.
That's very cool. What is it called?
I think it's talk.to. So it's TACK.TO.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
That's a neat little thing. It makes you seem like you're this big company with like customer service.
That's the idea.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so Shopify, the little talk chatbot thingy. Are there anything else that you use on a daily basis that kind of makes this all possible?
Oh, yes. Actually, I use a program software. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's Zapier, Zapier, right? So every time I get an order from Shopify, it automatically zaps the order over to a spreadsheet, and like my whole business is that spreadsheet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So thankfully, instead of having to manually enter stuff from Shopify, because I don't know if you're familiar with the back end of Shopify at all, but it doesn't there's no really clear way to keep running orders, especially the way we do it by date when, people tell me when they want their cake and I need to be able to deliver it then and not as soon as they place the order necessarily. Right. So that spreadsheet is hugely important to me.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, Jen, it's been so awesome talking to you. I'm already thinking of cakes that I want. And now I also want to start a dog bakery school and
Yay.
A dog baking competition on television. So we have a lot of ideas that we have to work on. But in the meantime, tell everyone where they can find you online.
So we are at spotteddogbakery.com. If you want to look at our website, you can find us on Instagram at Spotted Dog Bakery. We're also on Facebook, same thing, Spotted Dog Bakery, basically Spotted Dog Bakery everywhere.
Everywhere. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much, Tori.
Thank you for listening to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. You can fetch show notes at wearwagrepeat.com. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, we'll see you around the dog park.